What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Lake to Bay. So today's an exciting episode. We're going to be reviewing the Shimano Sedona C3000HG, one of my favorite budget 3000 reels I've used. This is definitely a premium reel for the price. I picked this up personally for $89 at Bass Pro Shops. Wasn't on sale, wasn't any special deal, that was the price. First, impressions of this reel using it earlier today, it does not feel like a $90 reel. This feels like $100 and something reel to the feel, the aesthetic, and just the overall butteriness of the reel itself. So we'll dive into the specifics on this, some of the specs, but we'll go ahead and start with what to use this reel for and who is this reel good for. So me personally, this setup is paired with a Stellar Light star rod. Can't talk good enough about the star rods. You get a very premium feel and a lot of really nice features for $90 as well. All in all, this combo won't cost you more than $200, which is crazy because it does feel like a $200 plus dollar combo. Me personally, I'm using the Shimano Sedona 3000 for just about anything inshore. I personally appreciate using light tackle down to the braid, down to the rod, down to the reel. So overall, I like to do a lot of light tackle fishing, especially when I'm inshore. So some of the fishing I'm doing with this, snook, tarpon, sea trout, open areas, all artificial. This combo and this reel does fantastic when you're throwing artificials all day because of how light it is. I mean, this thing is just, sometimes you forget you're even holding it in your hand. And those are the kind of reel rod setups that I look for when I'm casting all day. So definitely recommend this for open spaces. If you're fishing bridges, you're going to be on docks all day, you're going to be fishing live bait, this is probably not something to use. If you're looking for that rod-reel combo, primarily talking about the reel. So if you're looking for freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing, a hybrid that could go in between both, and not feel overkill in the freshwater, the Sedona C3000HG is the reel for you. Primarily, that's what I got it for. Down here in Miami, Florida, we have peacock bass, we have snakeheads, largemouth bass, and then we have our snook, tarpon, sea trout. We've got all sorts of different game fish down here where you want something that's a hybrid and can go both ways. So that's what I'm using this setup for, and it has been fantastic. A lot of times I'm getting requests and comments saying, hey, can this be used in freshwater? My honest opinion, if it's a 3000 size spinning reel, if it's made by Shimano, it can be used in freshwater, which is why I like this setup so much. So without further ado, let's dive a little bit into the specs on the Shimano Sedona C3000HG. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the weight on the Shimano Sedona. All in all, it's around 8.8 ounces, I believe, which is definitely pretty lightweight considering how well built it seems to be and how well built it feels. Like I said, if you guys are doing a lot of casts like I do, making hundreds of casts all day to improve that odds of hooking up, definitely want to find a light spinning reel. And thankfully the Shimano Sedona does cross that T. 8.8 ounces is extremely light, especially when you're pairing it up with the right rod as well. I'm making hundreds of casts and really it is no inconvenience. It feels sturdy, it feels bulky, but at the same time you are getting that extremely lightweight spinning reel action, which is something we all definitely look for. All right, so straight over to the gear ratio on the Sedona 3000. I get a lot of comments on what the gear ratio means. In this case, we are getting a 6.2 to 1, which all that means essentially is for every one time you're making a full crank of the handle, you are getting 6.2 oscillations of the rotor. So essentially you are bringing in line 6.2 times just for reeling the handle one full rotation. So 6.2 to 1 gear ratio is a fast spinning reel, at least for me. So if you have a need for a fast retrieval, this is definitely something to take a look at. 6.2 to 1 is very fast, at least for the kind of fishing that I'm doing. Also, I do find it to be a little bit easier when you're twitching, little paddle tails or whatever it might be. you always do have a chance to speed up the process. So for me, faster is better. You can always slow your hands down. So I do like the idea of having a fast gear ratio. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the line capacity on the Sedona 3000. So with 10-pound braid, which is what I have on now, you are getting 200 yards of line capacity. So that is really good for a 3000 size. That is 2 football fields to make it work. You hook up to a big redfish on the flats, whatever it might be, you've got 2 football fields to make something happen. One of the things we don't talk about enough too with line capacity, as you're out there, you're getting caught in the mangroves, your leader breaks out, you need a re-rig for whatever reason, you have more chances to continue fishing throughout the day without depleting your spool. So it's nice to have that extra, couple 50 yards plus of errors as you retie without really depleting the spool too much. So you can keep fishing for longer without having to worry about, re-spooling the whole line. So 200 yards, definitely pretty cool for such a small and light reel. Another pretty cool feature that Shimano offers with the Sedona 3000 is their propulsion line management system, which essentially is just a fancy way of saying Shimano has discovered a way that you can cast further, less twist in the line, and an overall better casting experience in general. That is something that they do have in some of their more premium products, but it is cool that they have found a way to bring that down to the more value-based reels like the Sedona 3000. So you are getting some of their more premium features that Shimano does offer, like the propulsion line management system that enables easier casting, longer casting for $70 to $90. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about the gears on the Sedona 3000. As we all know, Shimano is known for a buttery smooth experience and an overall really good functioning gear system. This is equipped with the Hay-Gain gear, which I've had incredible luck with in the past. And it really does provide that signature buttery smooth experience when reeling in any Shimano product for that part. You can't go wrong, in my opinion, with Daiwa and Shimano if you value that buttery smooth experience. And you are definitely getting that buttery smooth experience with the Sedona 3000. We'll go ahead and cap it off with the overall appeal. I like to do that, talk a little bit about the aesthetic, how it feels. We do have a graphite rotor, so I think that attributes to some of the lightweightness that we spoke about. But overall, it's very good looking. It's got a nice shiny silver trim all around the reel, and then a nice gold trim that goes over the rotor, or actually on top of the spool. And then you got that chrome nice finish that goes over the rotor. So all in all, it feels really sturdy. The handle itself is not flimsy. There's nothing worse than having a really flimsy handle that you have to deal with all day. Casting around, hooking up with fish, you're not getting that clacking with the handle that a lot of times I get. As you guys know, something I note out with other 3000 size reels, when reels tend to be so small and compact, I do get a lot of knuckle clacking sometimes on the spool itself or on the rotor. That does not happen with this reel. The way they have situated it, it's compact but gives you space for your knuckles, it gives you space for your hand. It just feels sporty. So all in all, really cool setup. And I think if there's one thing to take away from this video is the price and how premium it is for the price. So instead of going out there and getting a Penn Conflict on a Penn Squadron, spend a couple more dollars and get you a real setup that feels like something that's worth hundreds of dollars. Back to the rod, I think the Stellar Light achieves that from Star Rods, and I know for sure the Sedona 3000 is extremely underrated at the $90 to $70 price range. It really does feel like something that's just a little bit more premium, something in the hundreds of dollars, low hundreds of dollars. So absolute steal for what you get and all the features that you get at that price range. As I'm talking here, I did forget about the anti-reverse. That is something I like all my reels to have. That's just a personal preference. If you are like that as well, this does come equipped with the anti-reverse option. So easy for backing out. If you snag on something, it's always nice to have that anti-reverse. All in all, guys, incredible setup, great for inshore. if you do a lot of snook fishing, you do a lot of tarpon fishing, if you're a freshwater guy, but you want to get into saltwater, you could invest in this setup under $200 and have yourself a really good time in fresh and saltwater. I currently have a little paddle tail DOA Cal rigged up here, and it does great. Perfect for finesse fishing, perfect for casting artificials all day, and not breaking a sweat because of how light your reel is. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Lake to Bay. If this is something that you gained some knowledge or you enjoyed it for entertainment, please consider liking and subscribing and sharing the content. It really helps us out over here. Once again, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in that next episode.